Trying to keep enough space to work in here is a huge challenge, and this is my stuff, and oh, right on cue, here's someone else who wants to move in. So there's a robin that's been trying to make nests behind the paint tins. So they were in just there, and I moved it out, and that is where they're trying to do it at the moment. So today's job is to make a nest box so I can persuade it to live elsewhere. Been away from car tinkering for at least a decade, and the way to make space in the garage is to make space elsewhere for all the other stuff. Top tip if thinking of building a playhouse is build tall. So I built that when my youngest was barely a year. But advice from a friend with older children is they outgrow it really quickly. He's going to be 25 next month and we're still using it. My friend called it a good sulking room, but it's just storage now really. You might see a lovely garden. I see camouflage for what I built down the far end. So I built this, built that. There's another phase coming. I've been 25 years trying to get that done. It'd be nice to be doing this indoors, but that doesn't mean it can't be done outdoors. So this is just cheap softwood. This stuff is £2 for 8-foot long length, and it does last if you use proper outdoor paint. Might be a prototype, might get used like this, who knows, but this is a miracle of coronation weekend when I had a few days and was able to get that body frame onto a car that people said, when are you going to throw it away? And now they say, when are you going to get it going? But story for another day. I call this the garage, but there's never been a car in here. This has really been woodworking, making fitted furniture and stuff. But there is hopefully a birdhouse. I really do want to get this done quick, so decided I'm going to do size like that, and then I'll have another piece, a really big roof that will keep it really dry. So I'm going to cut that on an angle. So the noise you can hear in the background is dust extraction, all the way down to here, which is like the size of a washing machine. So there's a price to be paid for the make it up as you go along method. I'm not sure I want, so which bit was it, that bit? I'm not sure I want that slot so tight at the front, so really I wish I'd made these a bit higher. But so the price I'm paying today is that is now scrap. However, I've got a bit like that I can just cut to make a really big overlapping roof. Another tip is not to have the floor tight for a little bit of ventilation in the bird box. Turns out robins like an open front so they can peep out, make sure there's no danger, and from the space it's after, not too deep, and then those ventilation holes. This piece on the back, the idea is that that's how I'm going to attach it to the fence, so that'll stick out the bottom, so get some screw holes in there, and then onto the back. It'll also space the whole thing away from the fence a bit, and then give the lid a better chance. You can see in the lid there's some holes here from where that's been used in something else, and there's a slight curve. All of this wood, you know, is not prime wood. You can see there's quite a strong curve in that, so you know, it's a good project for using up all of these scraps. Rather than stuff flush at the front with this wonky kind of wood, it's nice to inset things a bit. And a way of marking up an inset is get your finger like that in the pencil, and then you can do a line like that, and then repeat it the other places you want that inset. And it's quite easy, surprisingly accurate. So then that will move the floor up a little bit, and then the sides will overlap a little bit. So the next step is work out where the screws go. So I think the thing to do is pop that on there, draw around it, and then just kind of eyeball a couple of screws like that should do it. So I had to pop out, back to it, and I've marked up where all the screw holes go. And screw through the sides into that kind of loop of back front floor. So I can draw some pilot holes and get that done. .35mm screw would be plenty, however I've got a big box of 40, so I'll use those. So I've got the first side screwed in, what's the base screwed into the side with that little inset, and I've done it by resting it on top of a bit of hardboard, which just gives nice spacing. So I'm using the same spacer method for the back, and it's leaving a slot for ventilation, which seemed to be advised for a robin box. So push that in, push that hard down. I've preloaded the screws just in the holes. And then I'll use the same trick with the front. So whenever I'm just wobbling it up and down, I'll turn it upside down, press it down hard, and then I know that that's a nice consistent spacing. There's this measure twice, cut once thing. If you can avoid measuring at all, it's so much easier. Split the wood a little bit, but it doesn't matter. So the last bits to do to put the back on, I'm going to attach it to the fence with. And then the roof. I haven't quite made my mind up how I'm going to do that. So to put the back on the mounting bracket, these little 30mm screws will do. And that'll do. And then I'll screw it to the fence with those screws under there. Decided to keep the roof fixing really simple, so I'm just going to pop a couple of screws in, which will be used as stops, so it'll basically hang on the roof. And these are to stop it being pulled forward, so it'll sit like that. So it sits like that with just the screws hanging on the back, and then the whole thing hanging on the fence from screws in the front. So there it is, finished, ready to install. So it's been really busy, so there's this material here and here. I'm probably going to preload the birdhouse with.